And welcome to today's Daily Report Market Analysis videos with me, Richard Perry, Market Analyst at Hantec on Thursday the 7th of May. We've got a swing back higher again on risk appetite. The seesaw that we've seen in markets toing and froing, risk on, risk off, has swung back towards the positive again today, and we've seen that risk appetite is gaining ground once more. We've seen the dollar coming under pressure. We've seen that, although not really showing that through on the dollar index broadly because euro is basically flat, but dollar is coming under pressure. You can see against sterling, which is rallying, and against the Aussie and the Kiwi, which are also rallying, along with the Canadian dollar. There is a slight dollar correction underway. Risk appetite being positive. You're seeing the yen coming under a little bit of pressure to the downside. Interesting that we've seen a little bit of support coming back in for gold and silver, but these equity markets have swung back higher again. This is the S&P 500 closing last night. Now, on its own, you'd say that that doesn't look great, considering it still hasn't really filled that gap, and backing away from it, and that downside gap that we saw at 28.92, and the market rolling back under. But you've seen a rebound in futures today in the S&P 500 E-mini futures. So that subsequently sees that equity markets in Europe have rebounded. So it's fairly positive today. Nothing too decisive though. And it'll be interesting to see how markets react around payrolls report tomorrow, because obviously we've got payrolls in the locker, and it's going to be a pretty terrible one, to be fair. But still, there could be a degree of consolidation in front of that payrolls number tomorrow. However, at the moment, risk is turning positive. How long for will be interesting, because my chart today, Aussie yen, reflects that risk appetite improvement. But again, there is a sort of still a suggestion that Aussie yen is potentially rolling over. I'll talk about that in a bit. Now, in terms of data points today, we've got the weekly jobless claims, which come in front of the payrolls report, and they are expected to show 3 million jobs, 3 million claims. Where is it? 3 million claims, which, although in isolation sounds a humongous number, it is actually better than we have seen for recent weeks. We've actually seen this trend now starting to fall away. So is that a sign of improvement? Well, US is starting to come out of lockdown, so perhaps the peak of unemployment is sort of starting to be reached. Anyway, so we've got a couple of speakers today. Christine Lagarde of the ECB speaking at 3 o'clock. Very important to see what her views are, considering obviously the Fed meeting recently and also the ECB meeting recently. And we've also got the Fed's Patrick Harker at 9 o'clock tonight. Now, my chart of the day is Aussie yen, a very good indication of risk appetite. And what do we see in Aussie yen? A swing back higher today. But in recent sessions in the last week, we've seen this market sliding away. It's broken the uptrend. You've seen the momentum indicators starting to deteriorate. That MACD bear cross is not all that positive, is it? Stochastics holding up as the market has rebounded today, but trading underneath this old uptrend is an issue. Needs to really initially get above 68. What's the resistance? 68.60, I think it was. Sorry, 69 figure. Sorry, 69 figure. 68.60 is this little mini pivot line here. But 68.69 figure is that reaction high that it saw on Tuesday, and that needs to be broken to really suggest that this rebound is going to continue. But you've seen a strong move today, but can it last is the question, because as I said, over the last week, we have seen this deterioration in the outlook on Aussie yen as the Australian dollar has just started to give back some of its gains. It'd be interesting to see if that turns into a buying opportunity, or it actually turns into a new corrective trend lower. At the moment, given the momentum indicators falling over, it does tend to look a little bit towards being a corrective move, certainly given the MACD lines. But a tick higher, and if that turns into another positive candle tomorrow, then we could see the rebound starting to generate some sort of upside momentum once more, but just treat this little rebound at the moment with a degree of caution, I would say, on Aussie yen. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading today. Click here to subscribe to our analysis videos and go to our website where you can sign up for our webinars.